Whether you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. Anyone who stops learning is old. Whether at 20 or 80, anyone who keeps learning stays young. Failure is only the opportunity more intelligently to begin again. You can't build a reputation in what you were going to do. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. My best friend is the one who brings out the best in me. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Anybody can complain. The only real mistake is theon from which we learn nothing. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goals. Vision without execution is just hallucination. When everything seemed to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason so few engage in it. Any customer can have a car painted any color that he wants so long as it is black. Quality means doing it right when no one is looking. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. Coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. Chop your own wood, and it will warm you twice. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. If money is your hope for independence, you will never have it. The only real security that a man can have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience, and ability. One of the greatest discoveries a person makes, one of their great surprises, is to think they can do what they were afraid they couldn't do. Most people spend more time and energy going around problems than in trying to solve them. Any man who thinks he can be happy and prosperous by letting the government take care of him better take a closer look at the American Indian. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to do, and then do it. You say I started out with practically nothing, but that isn't correct. We all start with all there is. It's how we use it that makes things possible. There is no man living who isn't capable of doing more than he thinks he can do. When Henry Ford decided to produce his famous V8 motor, he chose to build an engine with the entire 8 cylinders cast in one block, and instructed his engineers to produce a design for the engine. The design was placed on paper, but the engineers agreed to a man that it was simply impossible to cast an 8-cylinder engine block. You can't learn in school what the world is going to do next year. If there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle, as well as from your own. Success is 99% failure. I see no advantage in these new clocks. They run no faster than the ones made 100 years ago. None of our men are experts. We have most unfortunately found it necessary to get rid of a man as soon as he thinks himself an expert, because no one ever considers himself expert if he really knows. A man who knows a job sees so much more to be done than he has done, that he is always pressing forward and never gives up an instant of thought to how good and how efficient he is. Thinking always ahead, thinking always of trying to do more, brings a state of mind in which nothing is impossible. The moment one gets into the expert state of mind, a great number of things become. I invented nothing new. I simply assembled the discoveries of other men, behind whom were centuries of work. Had I worked 50 or 10 or even 5 years before, I would have failed. So it is with ever. Progress happens when all the factors that make for it are ready, and then it is inevitable. To teach that a comparatively few men are responsible for the greatest forward steps of mankind is the wars. Life is a series of experiences, each of which makes us bigger, even though it is hard to realize this. For the world was built to develop character, and we must learn that the setbacks and griefs which we endure help us in our marching onward. There are 3 things that grow more precious with age: old wood to burn, old books to read, and old friends to enjoy. A business that makes nothing but money is a poor business. If everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. There is no disgrace in honest failure. There is disgrace in fearing to fail. A business absolutely devoted to service will have only one worry about profits. They will be embarrassingly large. To do more for the world than the world does for you, that is success. Even a mistake may turn out to be the one thing necessary to a worthwhile achievement. There is joy in work. There is no happiness except in the realization that we have accomplished something. The way to learn to do things is to do things. The way to learn a trade is to work at it. Success teaches how to succeed. Begin with the determination to succeed, and the work is half done already. Everything comes to him who hustles while he waits. Money doesn't make us anyway, it just unmasks us. Genius is seldom recognized for what it is: a great capacity for hard work. Givers have to set limits because takers rarely do. You don't have to hold a position in order to be a leader. I will build a car for the great multitude. It will be large enough for the family, but small enough for the individual to run and care for. It will be constructed of the best materials, by the best men to be hired, after the simplest designs that modern engineering can devise, but it will be so low in price that no man making a good sailor. An idealist is a person who helps other people to be prosperous. I cannot discover that anyone knows enough to say definitely what is and what is not possible. We try to pay a man what he is worth, and we are not inclined to keep a man who is not worth more than the minimum wage. There is one rule for the industrialist, and that is, make the best quality of goods possible at the lowest cost possible, paying the highest wages possible. As long as we look to legislation to cure poverty or to abolish special privilege, we are going to see poverty and special privilege grow. Where people work longest and with least leisure, they buy the fewest goods. No towns were so poor as those of England, where the people, from children up, worked 15 and 16 hours a day. They were poor because these overworked people soon wore out. They became less and less valuable as workers. Therefore, they earned less and less, and could buy less and less. New York is a different country. Maybe it ought to have a separate government. Everybody thinks differently. They just don't know what the hell the rest of the United States is. Before everything else, getting ready is the secret of success.